My name is Sylvain. I'm French and I have now 10 years living in Albania, 15 years involved with children in need in Albania. When I first discovered the Roma community, I was literally shocked by the material conditions, by the needs. They live in shelters, without water, without electricity. Quite often we heard that they said, we are not people, we are animals. We live like animals. Those people, because of extreme poverty, are rejected by the normal society, and slowly they reject themselves. My first answer and my first reaction was to bring humanitarian aid, food, clothing, and medical assistance. But after a while, we understood that families were in some ways manipulating us. We were creating a lot of tensions between them. Even trying to be fair was bringing many issues. That's why, for the sake of good relationship, we decided quite quickly to stop humanitarian aid. This was a hard decision to take. In the same time, we understood that the biggest need was not material, but was spiritual in terms of dignity. When children live in extreme poverty, they don't have much ability to think for their internal life. The focus is much more survival on daily life. That's why once a week we have a Bible time with the children, and it's a time where we will just share story from the Bible. We will try to make it very interactive with the children and as practical as possible. Bible time is a specific time where they can have time to reflect for themselves, to think about their identity, to think about with what standards they want to live. But over the years, we can see the outcomes of these inputs. We'll bring values, we'll bring a new identity, will bring a new hope and a new way of seeing life to the children. We understood very quickly the need of education for them. Those children were walking and living in the streets or in very extremely poor community and had no education at all. One of the objectives of the literacy class is social integration. We understood that we were not a school, we had no accreditation from the state, so we decided to register the children in the public school, and this was a big challenge. Personally, I believed it would never work, but I thought let's try for 1 or 2 months. The very first challenge was that no one of the children had any birth certificate. Administratively, they were not existing in the society. The second challenge was coming from the director of the school, because they are children not wanted, not desired by the society. No one wanted to integrate them into the school. The first action was to go to the court and with a lawyer then to try to get a family certificate for them. After that, we had to go to the Ministry of Education and to get an order from the Ministry of Education that will invite the school director to receive these children. Today we have 14 children registered and continuing to go to school on a daily basis. The time spent in the literacy class is very small compared to the time invested in the life of the families, just visiting, praying, sharing, talking about issue. That's why we have a ratio approximately of 1 employee full-time for 10 children and 10 families. We are in contact every day with those children for a period of time over 11 years. It takes time to build relationship, to build trust. It takes time in order to help them to see that they are human beings created by God. For me, to bring transformation in the life of broken people is not just telling the truth of the gospel, but is through the gospel helping them to to connect with their own dignity as human beings. This can be done very simply, just staying nearby those people in the worst challenges they have in life. I am deeply convinced that if one person can perceive that he has some kind of dignity, then he can understand that he is made at the image of God, that despite the circumstances, he is still a creation of God.